Hello, my name is Tammy. I'm a fourth year student at Algoma University in the BSW program. I'm doing my placement hours for a safer space, FASS. And today we're going to look at working with older adults in social work practice, the golden years. Also, before I begin, I would like to acknowledge the Robinson-Huron Treaty and the land that we are gathered on is the traditional Anishinaabe nations. We're all treaty people. Okay, so let's move to the agenda. So we're going to look at global aging. We're going to look at the golden years. We're going to look at myths of aging. We're going to look at negative stereotypes. We're going to do a short video. We're going to have active aging policy framework defined. And then I'm going to add my final thoughts. And then that's the end of my slide presentation. So moving forward, global aging, what to do? Well, there are 703 million people aged 65 and older in the world. Over the next 3 decades, the estimated number of older adults will be 1.5 billion people worldwide. The United Nations makes it clear without a change in the way we think about our older population, we will miss out because aging can spur economic growth. Countries need to invest in the redistribution and intergenerational equity and the role it plays in government, families, and individuals. The point is, many older people want to stay in the workforce. Being forced to retire is an ageist idea that promotes ageism. Also, gender equality in employment and adopting family-friendly policies can lead to rapid economic growth. Reality is that older adults are going to retire at one point, so women can fill those roles. They will be needed to support their financial well-being. There will be more jobs, and for women, and women will provide, and women will promote, economic growth. Also, invest in education for all, including lifelong learners, as it will improve productivity and maintain economic growth. Eliminating age-related discrimination, including age-related barriers in employment, this can increase productivity, reduce inequality, and again, promote economic growth. Ageism is a form of oppression, and forcing older adults to retire before they are ready to leave the workplace is a discriminatory practice. So we're moving on to the golden years. The golden years. Well, Merriam-Webster defines the golden years as late years in someone's life, the time of life when someone is old. The definition provided from Merriam-Webster, it does not accurately represent older adults. It defines old age, and when someone is old, it does not tell the reader the golden years is a positive stereotype. It does not reflect that aging is part of life and we're all going to get old. But the term the golden years is a positive stereotype, which undermines the status and treatment of older persons in society, and it reduces an older person to a cliche. Myths of aging. Okay, so if you look on the far side there, on the left-hand side, it says, there's one I just wanted to point out. Older people are boring to listen to. This is simply not true. Older people have generations of knowledge to pass down to younger people. So myths of aging. Positive stereotypes about older adults include words like wise, kind, dependable, and happy. And yes, all people can be considered wise, kind, dependable, and happy. So it's not just older people. The problem with positive stereotypes, like these ones, it supports paternalism. It is an act of keeping older adults in subordinate positions in society. Social workers need to educate the public and fight for older people. Everyone is an individual, regardless of age. Okay, negative stereotypes. Some that come to mind you probably already know are useless, unproductive, or a burden on society. This is not true. Many older adults are still working or, open businesses. They're isolated and depressed. Well, some may be isolated because they can't get out, but not everybody doesn't get out or doesn't have the ability to socialize. Older adults are grouchy and grumpy. Yep, some may be grouchy and grumpy, but all ages of people can be grumpy and grouchy. It's just not because you're old. Older people cannot learn new things, cannot use technology or learn to use technology. This is simply not true. Most are ill or disabled. Again, this is not true. They live in long-term care facilities. This is seriously not true. Only about 5% of older adults live in nursing homes. Most older adults are poor. Yeah, some live below the poverty line, and so do many different people. You don't have to be old to be poor. There's many older adults that have lots of money. Also, this has an intersectional play to it because many of people who live in poverty are women of color. And this is wrong. We need to fix this. Now, here's the video on Think. I'll let you, what the heading is, age isn't a curse, but ageism is. And I'll let you watch this. It's about 4 minutes long.
One of the things I was absolutely astonished to stumble on very early on is called the U-curve of happiness, which shows that people are happiest at the beginnings and the ends of their lives. And I can't tell you how skeptical I was to start with. I thought, well, they must have cornered two 80-year-olds and given them a cookie and said, how are you doing? And this statistic is true across class, across race, across geography. I am a spokesperson for a global, I hope, grassroots movement to make discrimination on the basis of age as unacceptable as any other prejudice. This is incredibly important, not just politically and socially in the US, but around the world. There are hundreds of thousands of more healthy, well-educated adults than ever before in human history. The way we meet this challenge and opportunity of population aging, which is a permanent, global, irreversible phenomenon, will be very different if we just see it through the lens of disaster, debility, older people as a burden, than for what it is, an unprecedented opportunity as well to tap into this knowledge base and these abilities of all these older people of, my age and beyond, who have so much to offer, want to offer so much, and who are often prevented from doing so by structural discrimination in the workforce, in the world at large, and often by our own negative preconceptions of ourselves as we get older. There is ageism everywhere. I used to say it was the last acceptable prejudice, but I think we have a long way to go on a lot of them. But I think it is the one that people still don't think of. Open any magazine, and you will rarely see older people in advertising, or if they are in advertising, it's either for cruises or for medicine. If you want to see ageism on steroids, walk down the greeting card aisle of any pharmacy where cards say disgusting things about age and aging. We do this to ourselves. Internalized ageism, right? We are barraged with negative messages about age and aging from childhood on. And unless we stop to challenge this idea that it's just decline, that we become unattractive, useless, impaired, it becomes part of our identities. Cognitive decline is not inevitable. There's about 20% of older people who escape cognitive decline entirely. And think about it, we all know some of those really, really smart 90-year-olds, right? I mean, again, tap into your own lived experience and you will see that these are truths. In this society, we frame aging as something to succeed or fail at, which is crazy. We don't succeed or fail at childhood, and aging is living. So what I would like to see is this idea that aging is shameful to be stripped away, because aging is a natural, powerful, lifelong process that we are all engaged in. Let's take the shame out of it.
Hey, NBC News viewers,
Okay, I hope you found that as interesting as I did. I'm going to move on to my next slide. Active Aging Policy Framework. Well, it was created to address the increasing aging population globally or worldwide, to promote an increase in participation of older adults in politics and in community. It looks at how to help people remain independent, enjoying a positive quality of life, to have fewer premature deaths in highly productive stages of life, to ensure more people actively engage in social, cultural, and political aspects of society. Stresses the importance of individual choice and responsibility. Next slide. Social workers need to dispel myths, because myths encourage negative and positive stereotypes that are ageist. Myths encourage discrimination and oppression. Myths are not based in reality. Myths isolate and throw away older adults, making their contributions to society and to community invisible. Okay, so that wraps it up on my aging presentation. Again, my name is Tammy. I'm a fourth year student at Algoma University, working for a safer space for student placement hours. Thank you. Have a great day.